I'd gone through a lot as a teenager. And so for me, it was overcoming low self-esteem that was masked in enormous arrogance. It was overcoming a life that was defined by what I did versus whose I was. And, even into my adult years, married with children, I was still wrestling with that. I couldn't really quite understand, why did I matter? And it's the message that I share wherever I go, anywhere in the world. And I had to come to terms with it for myself and go, well, you matter because the same reason you tell everybody else that they matter, you're breathing. And it's not because I write books or travel or minister or whatever. It's because I woke up this morning. God woke me up for a reason. And if he woke me up, Proverbs says in Living Bible, God has something scheduled for you to do today.
Share with me about where we're going today.
Yep, we are going to a really special place. It's a teen challenge. It's all young ladies, teenage girls. And I have been coming here for over 20 years. Because I know as we drive right now, there's 30, 35 young ladies who've been through hell. They wouldn't be here otherwise. They've been through things that have been very painful. But what does pain do? Pain seeks pleasure. Well, pleasure is fleeting, whether it's an addiction to a drug or alcohol or sex or whatever it is. And so if the adage is true that hurting people hurt people, sometimes the people we hurt the most are ourselves. That's what we're walking into. When we see the very first thing that God created was light. And I asked the Lord one day, I said, why light? Why is that the first thing we see that you created? And he said, what does light do? He said, it enables vision. He says, what do I say about vision? Without it, you perish. With one, these young ladies today, when they catch that revelation that, wait a minute, I haven't missed my opportunity. I mean, they're talking about 12, 13, 14, 16-year-old girls in there who've been through heavy, heavy things. But now maybe, just maybe, they've got some truth that gives them an anchor to hang on to. That they can now, oh, wait a minute, the best is ahead.
You talked earlier today a lot about purpose and vision, but mainly purpose. And I think purpose and vision go hand in hand. Why is that so important?
Well, because purpose, destiny, is ours to discover, not decide. Your purpose, your calling is irrevocable.
One thing I love about the Lord is he's so simple. He's not very complicated. And the YouMatter message that he gave you is not complicated at all, is it?
No, it's, God can take the most profound revelation. When you really dissect the two words, you matter, and you really understand what those two words genuinely are saying to you. But if you just look at them on paper, it's almost shocking to people. They're like, it's like, that's been here forever. I mean, it just fits. And so it's the simplicity, but yet it's the genius of God. Because it's when people get it and they catch that revelation. Oh, man.
Well, that leads me into my next question then. Your vision, with the time that we live in and how difficult things are for everybody, but particularly young people, what is your vision going forward for the young people of America?
I want to see a couple things happen. I want to see young people, teenagers, really take the role they're created to fill right now. Another one of my goals, aspirations. One person became so vehemently vocal about getting prayer out of public schools, right? In the early 1960s, the greatest challenges in public schools in America were teenagers running in the hall, chewing bubble gum, and being late to class. Come forward 60 years. Gang violence, rape, school shootings. What happened? You take God out of a God-centered society, leaves you with a godless society. Now you have John 10:10, the first part of that verse, at work. What would it look like to lead a petition among high school seniors to get out the vote and to get prayer back in schools? What if we could raise up an army of just 2 students in every state, bring 100 kids together and go, you're tasked with the responsibility of getting this petition and going into your schools, going on social media, and leading a student-led revolution to get prayer back in schools.
I ask you, Lord, let the anointing be on him stronger tonight than it's ever been before. And that he'll walk in another dimension tonight as he ministers your word.
And this young man walks into me, he goes, I want to tell you my story. I said, I'd love to hear your story. He said, I recently decided I didn't want to live anymore. I said, all right. He said, I stabbed myself, and he showed me where, and it was intense. He said, I survived that. He said, but I didn't want to live, and I just didn't want to be here. I was miserable. He said, so I had this thought. That's an important part of this moment to capture. I had this thought. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Everything in your life will begin first with a thought. That thought, if not dealt with, will continue to grow into the place where it becomes a word, which then, if not dealt with, will become an action. Thoughts become words, which become actions. And he said, I didn't want to live, Dean. And I took notes. I carry this with me wherever I go. Everywhere I go, I invite teenagers to sign what I call our YouMatter pledge. And it says, I choose to live and not end my life for 3 reasons. I was created as an original, for purpose, for relationship. We've had 113,000 students sign that. We've had 157,000 suicides stopped that we know about. And we've had just at 300,000 young people give their hearts to the Lord through our ministry so far. Now, I'm grateful for all that, but I want you to know the truth. I'm behind. I'm way behind. If you take time to just celebrate, oh, look what I've done, look what God's done through me, you are already wasting time. So this young man looks at me and goes, you want to hear the rest of my story? I said, I'd love to. He goes, I go to a bridge. I had a thought. And I wrote it down. It was 204 feet from the top of the bridge where he jumped to the bottom where he died. Where he died. I thought you said you were talking to him. I was. He said, someone was close enough by, they called EMT, they airlifted me out, took me to the hospital, and he said, I coded 6 times. That means died. He died, they brought him back. They died, brought him back. I like your t-shirt. They died, brought him back. And then this young man looks at me and he goes, do you think my life matters? Yes. You died 6 times? You jumped from 204 feet to your death? Now here's the bigger question. What does the enemy know about that young man's life that he tried his best to steal, kill, and destroy, but somehow, some way, somebody who knew how to pray in tongues, whether they knew they were praying for him, there could have been somebody in South Africa, South Australia, South China, or his next door neighbor, I don't know. But I will tell you this, that by the time he and I finished talking, he signed my card.
Here we are, 17 hours later or so.
Yeah.
Tell us about this day.
You know, it's when you land at 12:20 in the morning, it's been a long day, but it's been a great day. So now here's what happened today. Here's what God did. We saw 535 people, 17 salvations, 35 students that signed our pledge card this morning at Teen Challenge. 24 suicides were stopped today. 70 people rededicated their lives to Jesus. 110 people chose to forgive someone who'd hurt them. 22 people said yeah to being called into ministry.
The partners of the ministry are a part of that.
Oh, listen, wouldn't be happening without partners, right? So if all the suicides that were stopped today, for the salvations that happened today, for those who were called into ministry today, for those who chose to forgive someone today who had hurt them, for the students at Teen Challenge who came up afterwards and just told me all that, you were right there with us. We carry you in our hearts. So I'm going to encourage you. KCM is really good ground. They're the real deal. These guys, the people you don't see on the other side, my buddy, they're the real deal. They love God and they love people, and together we're in the people business.
That's right. That's what we are.